It is the Mosley Show, coming to you live from the studios in Waco, Texas, hard by the Brazos River, and Scotty alongside, Lizzie alongside, and we're doing our thing, and we're reacting to the big news of the weekend. I announced it yesterday that this thing would be happening at 4 o'clock today, and it is. Scotty, last night, I have to admit, I was kind of like, well, okay, I reported it. I still haven't heard. I just want to make sure this is what I've got this one right. And then today, Baylor came with all the news that I had expected them to say, which is at 4 o'clock today, the community will come out and have an opportunity to meet Doug McNamee as the new director of athletics, the vice president and director of athletics for Baylor University. And I think a lot of people have had strong reactions to this, both good and bad. And I think I can help you today because I've known him for a long time. And I'm not going to be somebody, though, who tells you, oh, you're wrong or you're wrong for thinking this way. I get it. I think people have sort of valid reactions. I think there are probably some valid concerns with this. I want to tell you, Scotty has put it out there, our Twitter premium. And so we'll have a lot of folks kind of coming in there throughout the day, and that audience always builds. I also want to send all of you over to the YouTube and the YouTube channel, and there you can get in and do some commenting, and love to hear from you. I've been talking to everybody I can associated to this move and Baylor, and I had a lot of things to respond to the other day when news broke. Scotty, it's probably when someone's not returning your calls that you've been friends with for a long time. It probably does mean something. In this instance, I have to say, I mean, I get it. People, I think, are thinking, okay, you hire a search firm and then you hire somebody who lives like 3 miles away from campus that hasn't been in it for 8 years. I get it. And we're going to address all that. We're going to address sort of the concerns. I think Doug will be able to do that today. I knew him. So this is an interesting one because he was part of the Brazos era. And so this proves that somebody can somehow come out of the Brazos era unscathed. Now, a lot of those coaches got to keep on coaching. Art Brazos just got a job 10 years later at Eastern New Mexico. His career was, and again, we're not going to get into that, but I do think it's kind of interesting that Doug was part of the Brazos era, was there, kind of watched what all was going on, and then served on the search committee and helped Mac Rhodes out a ton. I did talk to Ian McCall over the weekend, former Baylor AD. And, Scotty, I saw the snarky comments out there. Oh, good. He's got the voice. He's got the seal of approval from Ian McCall. I get all that. It's fine. That's fine. Ian understands that, too. I think it's interesting, though, that he was part of that administration and then part of this the new administration, and he served as a bridge kind of in that respect. And then he went over and took over at Magnolia, and people recognize that. Now, there's been a lot of reaction to that. I'm not going to get into what Magnolia is or isn't, but like that, I mean, it's a pretty large organization, and they've launched a lot of different parts of it. So I think people kind of still trying to like paint it locally. Even locally, I've heard some like, that's not a, this guy hadn't been a part of big things. Well, that's become a pretty big operation, I believe. And he ran that, and then he went over to Field and Stream. And, Scotty, I think I think our audience can just almost look at me and know that I have a huge hunting and fishing background. Guy that spent a lot of time in deer blinds over my life. No. I think most people would say Mosley probably prefers golf or tennis, and you would be right. But Field and Stream, there you go. I mean, I cannot say I'm a longtime writer. I cannot say I've written nor read Field and Stream magazine that much, but that's where Doug has been. I think the good news is he has been away, and I bet he returns with like all sorts of thoughts on how to approach this NIL and portal, and he's going to get asked all of these things. Now, again, you can't like say, I think a lot of people are mad it's like, oh, we wanted a Power 4 AD, but you also said you didn't want like the same old thing. And then you've also said, and I've heard a lot of you, and some of you are my friends, I don't have a Baylor person. I mean, the thing is, and I kind of tried to help a little bit, and that's why Dickie and I think we're such good friends. And I'm sad for Jeremiah because I think that would have been an incredible fit. He's a great friend of mine. But Jeremiah was very smart to come to people like me and others that were longtime Baylor people and try to gain that institutional knowledge. But there are a lot of people who say, we need one of us. We need to be represented by one of us. And by the way, Cody's a Baylor guy and all that kind of stuff. Doug is tried and true Baylor guy. Was a manager, I believe, for Scott Drew with the basketball program. And sure enough, we're going to have Scott Drew on with us in just a matter of minutes. Oh, it's 1:15, Scotty. Oh, there he is. There he is. Scotty has to do all this special stuff. We're going to talk to Scott via phone. Okay, it's going to be old school, and that'll make Scott. It'll just be almost like he's back at talking to me at my old radio gig. Scotty, you give me a thumbs
love
up.
It.
Oh,
I love it.
I hear him.
I love it. Let's go.
I hear him. I think you work better when you don't see me, right? Like on screen.
Either one works, man. Either one works.
Oh man. Well, this is pretty interesting day. Baylor hires Doug McNamee, and that's got to be a pretty cool thing for you, having had him as part of your basketball program all those years ago. I mean, not, Scott, that you and I are old at all, but he would be a little bit younger than us. He was a student associated with so this has to be with the team. This has to be one of those crazy full circle moments for you. How much, I know you're excited for him. How much input did you have in this? Did President Livingstone since you have known him forever, were you asked about this, or how did that all go down?
Well, the great thing is President Livingstone does her job. I do my job, and her and the committee did a great job in selecting not only a Waconian, but a Baylor through and through man, and somebody that she didn't have to ask my opinion because most people at Baylor and most people in town know about him. The great thing is the path that God always has for people. I mean, he was in the athletic department with Ian. He was in the athletic department with Mac. But then he was in the business world. And his connections in the business world are phenomenal. He understands the mission. He understands all the Christian businesses out there that we can tap into as Baylor being one of the leaders in Christian education, the largest Baptist school in the nation. And nowadays, as we all know, with NIL, with the portal, that kind of marketing resources and everything is, you have to have it to compete. And at the end of the day, Baylor has been unbelievably blessed with a great track record with athletics. And I think the future is extremely bright now with somebody who's well versed with, again, corporate America and just how things have shifted in that dynamic.
When did you first meet Doug? And do you remember that? And what stood out about him even as a very young man?
Well, when we first got the job here, Doug was one of the first people that we met, and somebody that so respected in the athletic department realm for being extremely hardworking, diligent. Somebody that gave, I think, Coach Driscoll's first tour around the Farrell Center. But after that, I know Doug moved over to baseball, helped out Coach Smith. They had unbelievable success there. Got in the athletic department. But he's been somebody that if you're a Waconian or a Baylor alum, it's highly unlikely if you spent much time around Baylor athletics or the university, you didn't know Doug or somebody that knew Doug. And again, it's a really a special time to have somebody back leading Baylor athletics. And I've been extremely blessed to work for Ian McCall and Mac Rhodes, and two of the best athletic directors, so widely respected in the profession. And nowadays, with the ever-changing entrepreneur climate, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity in God's plan with Doug. So let me flip it back. What do you think about Doug McNamee coming home and helping lead the department?
No, I like it. I like Doug a lot, and you're right. He was a bridge. He's been out of it, and I think that's, people will have criticism about that. He's been out for about 8 years, but he's been at interesting places, and Magnolia's become a huge deal, I know, both locally and nationally. And then, Field and Stream's a well-known brand. So what I'm trying to lean into is kind of what you're saying, is that maybe NIL, and maybe you'll have some fresh ideas, and maybe it's okay to have stepped away for a little while. I think in our world, Scott, when we have somebody that's not in the fold or has been in college athletics for a number of years, it's like if somebody got out of coaching for 8 years, we'd be like, what are they doing? So I think there'll be some skepticism, but that's okay. I think he'll be able to handle some of that. I guess you'll let him have one day before you tell him what you need for NIL and portal and all that stuff. But I would imagine that's huge, because football's had its issues, and they're having to decide what to do with that program, and that's huge. But you've got to take care of your program too, Scott. I mean, how do you? But that'll be, I guess that will be nice to have that built-in long-time relationship, and hopefully that kind of helps you hit the ground running, because it's never enough, is there? It's not like, we've got more than we need in NIL or portal. You never end up like that.
Well, I think I'll just sum it up this way. Brad Yarmark wasn't a commissioner, and he's done a lot of great things for the Big 12. And he came from the entertainment industry. Charlie Baker, he was in politics, and I know he's fighting and clawing and trying to do things. You look at Stanford; they just hired the Nike executive as their new AD. If Doug didn't go in the business world for the last 8-9 years and experience all that, I know for a fact he wouldn't. For me personally, he wouldn't be as qualified or equipped to lead us from the standpoint. Let me ask you. If I said, what's one thing you could have, you would say, give me the resources I need to be successful. And that's what every coach in modern day NIL portal is asking. Like, just give us what we need, and it's our job to get it done. And Baylor University has more than enough resources, but more importantly that, we represent, look at all the Christian organizations out there. Look at from the Hobby Lobbies to Chick-fil-A's to different things like that. Many hands make light work, and there's a lot of resources and opportunities for us to tap into.
Was he more important to the program than Kevin Gall? Who was the better student worker manager of those two? And was he a little less chatty than Kevin, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, Kevin is the one that we had the pleasure of working with. Doug actually worked with the basketball before we got in, and when we got here, he had already been. Steve Smith was smart enough to get him in. Before we had an opportunity to have him a part of our program. But again, he's a Baylor guy. There is, as you know, in life, it could be whatever. 50% are happy with it, 50% are upset with it. I just know for people that know him, there's no doubt the sentiment is he's going to be extremely successful. And again, landscape and everything has changed. How we do things has changed. And his 8-9 years away and learning the business side of things, that to me made him an unbelievable hire by President Livingstone. And the easy thing is always to do the path that most people are following. At the end of the day, few people win. So you can't do what everyone does and separate yourself. Sometimes you have to have the aggressiveness and the foresight and the knowledge to think outside the box. And I mean, that's what I think we did here, and extremely excited to work with Doug as far as what all us coaches need. You know what? He knows, first of all, because he's worked in athletics. He knows what coaches need, want, prioritize. Most of all, he knows about the Baylor mission. We don't have to be apologetic for who we are, what we are. Embrace it, love it. People that God calls to be here, that's who we want here. And extremely excited.
Can you get us a big man, by Wednesday?
We'll see how good he is.
Okay.
An AD, right?
All right. Well, I this is rare for me. I'm going to try to be efficient with you. Last thing I had for you, first true road test, real quick on the going to Memphis. Some good moments in that game. Pretty. It was very close, and then they get it there at the end. Poor shooting night. I mean, I think it's rare you're going to have the guy who's been your top scorer go 3 for 15. You had another 2 for 10 type performance from one of your better players. What's your biggest takeaway in how they performed in that one on CBS on Saturday?
Well, I think defensively we did a lot of good things. If we take away the second chance points, our defense would have been phenomenal. I thought in a close game you have to make free throws. We missed 4 front ends, a 1-on-1. That's 8 points right there. You're going to win most close games if you make free throws. You're up 1 with 5 to play, and at the end of the day, we didn't close. Normally, that first true road game is really hard to play in, just to get used to things. And playing in Indianapolis helped get us a little bit ready for that, but at the same time, it wasn't the type of atmosphere that probably I was hoping for to really get you ready. And we didn't respond down the stretch in a way that we needed to win the game. At the same time, you want to be in those environments and those situations now because you're in them every night in conference. But Mosley, you've been around sports a long time. At the end of the day, close games usually come down to free throws, and you got to be more efficient on the line. I got to put our guys in better positions in practice to get ready for that. And at the same time, we had 18 rebounds. They had 18 rebounds. They were more efficient with their offensive rebounds than we were and scored more points. And thus, those two factors contributed in a large way to the outcome of the game. You're going to have off shooting nights. Make free throws. Don't give up second chance points. We win the game by 10. Everybody's happy.
Scott, thank you for doing this. It's weird that people 10 years younger than us are becoming ADs. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm just trying to process it all. But anyway, we now or you report to Doug McNamee. So get ready for it. Okay.
Hey, extremely blessed to be able to report to him. So it's a great day at Baylor University. Let's go Bears.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. I'll talk to you soon. There he goes. It was quick. We had a hard out. I almost did that, Scotty. We didn't, tried. Might have gone a couple minutes over, but hopefully don't get my hand slapped too hard there. But not hearing myself, Scotty. Whatever you just punched. There we go. Right back with you here on the Mosley Show. And man, some interesting things there from Scott Drew. Not the least of which I do need to talk hoops at some point because there are a couple of concerning things, but then, they were right there in that game. I love how Tunde is not, it does not, a road crowd or whatever, that didn't bother him. And I like the end of the first half, they found him for a 3. Some of this poor shooting, you just don't want it to keep happening over and over. And some guys are kind of in the tank a little bit. And they're just very erratic is what I would say. And Tunde's a guy that he may not always shoot it great, but he's going to score. He's going to find a way to impact the game. Carr's like that too, but this was the first game where Carr kind of got taken out of he shot it plenty. I think he was 3 for 15. He ended up with 13 points, but I mean, everybody's going to be gunning for him. He's the big scorer. He's 23 points a game. They're going to come after him, and they're going to have a plan for him. So what's the counterattack going to be? And you can't just jump over everybody. You're going to have to get him good shots. You're going to have to get him to the rim. You're going to get him in the lane. He's got a good mid-range game. Everybody is entitled to a bad game, but the free throws that's frustrating. When you're in a tight ball game and you start missing the front end of 1-and-1s, these are opportunities. I mean, playing Memphis on the road doesn't kill you, losing the game, but it just is nice to, it would have been nice to get the win. And I don't know how good they are. They lost a great player who was one of the top transfer portal guys, but they've also kind of reloaded. They have some size. They're probably deeper than the Bears. I mean, by the end of the year, do I think Baylor can be better than Memphis? I absolutely do. They'll be more battle tested in the conference, but you can also get beat up in that conference. And right now, I think you'd be hard pressed to say Baylor's better than like the 7th or 8th team in the league. Now that could change. Iowa State's just crushing everybody. Iowa State went out and beat somebody else good the other day. I mean, it's like 82-59. Cyclones will take. I mean, you can come after their head coach in football, but don't come after T.J. Otzelberger in his tight shirt. The man loves a good schmedium, and he'll put that thing. And it's a tight thing. It cuts off circulation, but he can flat out back it up. He can back it up and get that done. Lots to unpack there as Baylor makes this hire. And this is not going to be a session where Mosley tries to convince you, oh, this is why it's a great hire, all that kind of stuff. I'll discuss my concerns. I'll discuss where I think he can help. You heard the Baylor, what they're going to be coming with hard. You heard it from Scott right there. It's, Scott, hey, he's been around. Scott asked me for my opinion, and I don't mind giving my opinion. I mean, you got a guy that's been out for 8 years. Now, Scott, the way that they'll spin it is, hey, he's been out, and he's better for it. He's better ready for the NIL and the portal because he's been out raising money and raising funding and doing all this stuff. The guy, by the way, he's sold like crazy in his life. He was at the Baylor ISP or whatever it was called. It used to be IMG before it's now Playfly. He did that. And so he rose to prominence quickly in that. Would have graduated from Baylor probably like 2008, somewhere like, wait, no. 2000, he probably got out of Baylor in like 2005. But it sounds like he did some stuff with the baseball team, so he might have been part of that College World Series trip that occurred in 2005, I guess that was. But they had great teams in 03, 05, 2010, 2012. I mean, those were incredible Baylor teams. Even you go back to the late 90s, post Mickey. Yeah. But by the way, Mickey had some incredible teams over the years. You go back to the 70s and then even into the 90s with Topper. Actually, Topper played for, anyway, sorry. I don't want to go off on that. But not Topolsky, but Trozo, Mike Trozo. Wow. Or Matt Trozo. Incredible out there in the outfield. Some of those teams, some of those Mickey teams. And then Sid Hudson would go out there and make a pitching change. And you'd wait. Sid would just kind of trudge out there and be like, Sid, you ever going to make this change? Now, he'd actually just be going out to talk to the pitcher. Sid was, by this time, probably in his late 70s. And Sid didn't move real quickly, but he was a great, great baseball man, a great major league guy, had a tremendous history. Baylor baseball. All right, Doug McNamee. So he's got baseball ties. He's got ties to the Baylor basketball program from way back in the day. He was here during the Brazos era. I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break, and then we'll talk more about this hire, what it means to NIL, what it means in relation to Dave Aranda and his staff. If you don't think I'm hearing from other people around the country that are coaches, well, I am. And it's very, very interesting right now. I think Baylor as much as I think a lot of us that are within, went to Baylor or love Baylor and all that kind of stuff, we're like, oh my gosh, this thing's burning down. This thing's awful. I promise you, this is still an attractive job. It still is. And I know it because I keep hearing from people. What are they going to do? What are they doing? What are they going to do with Rand? Well, Doug will start answering some of those questions this very afternoon. And believe me, I'm hoping, when they hired Nikki, I remember, man, even before her press conference that morning, we had Nikki on immediately, and that was fun. And I promise you, we'll have Doug on soon because Doug is a longtime friend, and Doug understands the power, not of the Mosley show, although it is very powerful, but Doug understands media and how important it can be. And by the way, Mac did too. Mac loved media, and Mac liked doing media. The problem became Mac was way more vocal and way more like the face of the program than Coach Aranda. And they're trying to get Coach Aranda out of his comfort zone, to do more media, to be more open to that, to be more forward-facing. That's not really and he was asked the other day, can you change? And he's like, oh, yeah, I can change. So we'll see. If he indeed is going to be the head coach for next year, I don't think we should sit around and root for his failure. Is that what you want? Like, oh, let's be awful. Let's be awful. Well, I guarantee you there's some people out there going, yeah, kind of. We want us to be awful in the first 3 games and then fire the coach. And then you really want Oklahoma State, what they had this year, just have a bunch of shirtless guys up in the stands and have largely empty seats at the stadium for most of the season? Is that what you want? Be careful when you wish for tanking and things like that. We'll see what Doug has to do. We'll ask Doug all the questions as we start to find out, kind of what his plans are for Baylor. Today, public announcement over at the Herd Welcome Center. And so I believe 4 o'clock, kind of meet and greet time. 4:15, a little bit of a panel. And 4:50, I believe, is going to be the press conference. And this is like an open thing. The Herd, Lizzie, as you know, you've been over there. That's an enormous building. That'll be a huge area. I don't know if it will be in the auditorium. I don't know where we'll be exactly, but that's a big place and a fun place to do things. And so we'll all gather, and there'll be a lot of people. Get ready for this, Lizzie. I don't know if you've been to one of these. If you go over there, there'll be a lot of green and gold, and people will show up almost like it's a pep rally. And the media, though, will be the grizzled media. We don't do that. All right. I've got my very neutral Navy on today, but I'll be over there. And again, Doug's, I can speak to this in a moment. I've known him for years. And so let me kind of take you behind the scenes, who Doug McNamee is, why I think there's some things about this that will work. And there are some folks that maybe don't like this. And I get it. If you hire a search firm and you apparently do a big search and you're going to do a nationwide search and you end up with somebody right down the street, I think it's fair to answer some questions and discuss all this. We'll talk about it. Thank you, C&B. By the way, Scotty, you'll love this. I've had this idea in my mind for a while now, and I think you and Lizzie would both enjoy this. I'm thinking of some studio music, some Christmas holiday music. I'm thinking about bringing in like an orchestra to the studio, kind of a one-man orchestra, so to speak. And I'm thinking about C&B executive Brian Fonville. And if people heard that Woodway Orchestra yesterday, they heard it out there at Woodway Baptist. And he was playing next to a guy from my high school's band. All right. A current member of Bugwub was next to a former member of Bugwub. But Brian is extremely talented. So I'm in a very holiday mood. I would like to get some holiday live music on the show, if we think that's possible. I'm just trying to think how we would get the horn and whatever, he plays lots of instruments. So I'm trying to think where we would set that up. Scotty, have we done live music in the studio before? I would think that's happened.
Not in here while I've been in here.
Okay.
And I'm the primary one who uses this studio.
Scotty, do you play an instrument? You're a connoisseur of
I sure do.
Alternative music. Oh yeah, you've been in a band. That's right.
I play multiple instruments. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Oh wait. So you bring your guitar or whatever. Yeah. And then we put you with Brian.
He probably, if he's playing in the orchestra at First Woodway, he probably outclasses me a little bit as far as what he can do versus what I can do on a guitar. But I'm happy to.
Do not sell yourself short.
I'm happy to contribute to the ensemble. Absolutely.
My nephew that you met, Scotty, is part of the KOT house band.
Yes.
Big time talented guy. We may get him in.
Let's
we can
go
put together a night. Although we're acting like we have a huge,
we were
choral
joking.
Hall. That's not exactly the case.
We were joking back in like July and August, and I don't know why this didn't happen, Lizzie. I think someone dropped the ball. Not you, not I. But we were joking about we need a Rogue Media Christmas album. Did you know Pete Souza kind of likes to he's got kind of like a Sinatra like it's kind of that era of a singer. He likes to get on,
Old Blue Eyes.
Oh yeah. He likes to get onto that. And I could write a song. Lizzie can sing. She won't ever tell you about it, but she can sing.
Do we feel like Souza is kind of like the Michael Bublé of Rogue?
Oh, I wouldn't give him that much credit.
Michael Bublé. He kind of has that presence. You remember there was somebody we worked with, Scotty, and never would the pictures be posted of us. You remember it was always Pete. It would always be Pete.
I mean, I can't blame anybody for that.
He's a nice looking man. All right, let's keep going. I mean, he's from Philly. He's from the mean streets of Philly. He's a grizzled guy. Let's react to what Scott Drew told us. That was really good. On Doug McNamee and his hiring at Baylor. The official announcement coming later today. We'll be there to react to all of it. We'll share some of it with you tomorrow right here on the Matt Mosley Show. I'll give you my thoughts. And then, Scotty, as we get to 2 o'clock hour, we got to react to the CFP. I mean, my gosh, it's huge. I know we're kind of focused on this Baylor stuff, but the CFP has spoken. There are people mad. We've got Catholics who are very, very upset. And we may hear from one of them. Ooh, wow. All right, all that coming up next on The Mosley Show.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. If you receive a call from someone claiming to be from a company, don't give them your personal information, ever. Unless you know them personally, hang up and call the company back on a verified number.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup. From cars, trucks, to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cabin chassis, and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Matt Piffle, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mappiffle.com and start celebrating your story today.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia. Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
WhyPersonalLoans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit PersonalLoans.com today.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit PropMoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. U-Like.
VivoSun's mission is to empower growers with stylish and effective products, making indoor growing accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Visit vivosun.com today and get started making growing plants and vegetables easy and automatic.
Your friendly local talk show host is back. Scotty's with me. Lizzie's been with us. We're in the hot lights of the studios here at Rogue Media Network. Thank you, Ascension Providence. Thank you, C&B. Thank you, Schmaltz. Thank you, Schmaltz. Thank you for what you do. Love having all our folks up behind me on the screen. In fact, I may do some weather later. Scotty, if you could put me on the green screen at some point, I like to tell people kind of what I see coming through Central Texas. There's an old Central Texas weather guy that I used to really like, and I just haven't seen him lately. Rusty Garrett, I think, was his name. And I liked Rusty's work. I don't think he's doing it anymore. But I feel like I could step in for Rusty. and helping the local weather. Actually, I like some of our local weather people. They're really good, really talented people. So anyway, that's going on. I thought that was interesting. Scott Drew on with us earlier saying that, he had hoped to have a better road test in Indianapolis against Indiana before they went out to see Memphis. And it kind of feels like maybe they weren't maybe kind of as battle tested as they could have been from that kind of environment. They didn't play beautifully. They missed some free throws, played pretty well on defense. That was good. That was good to see. Tunde scored. Tunde is going to be able to function in any territory. I happened to take a peek at some students that were screaming stuff and really mean kind of stuff at a game, Scotty, over the weekend, and I looked closely, and it said something about the Owl's Nest was reporting this, and then it became obvious to me it was our old friends from FAU had gone to Florida Gulf Coast, I think it was. Used to call it like Dunk University or the Dunk, whatever. They had a great nickname because that one run that Andy Enfield went on with Florida Gulf Coast. And, man, those students were rough. Wow, that was some tough stuff. Scotty, let's direct some of our people over to our comment section. Go sign up for the YouTube channel. And we've had a good rush of people trying to sign up. We also get a bunch of people on Twitter. Now, we'll do all of our reactions to the college football playoff. Notre Dame's upset. Should they be? Maybe to a certain extent. But the committee, let's shoot the messenger. They were working under these weird parameters that somehow provided an opportunity for Tulane and JMU to get in. You say, how did that happen? Well, because the ACC went out and embarrassed itself. All right? Because the Duke Blue Devils are the best 8-5 team ever. Coach, who is that? Scotty, doesn't he look like a mountain man these days? Is that old Manny Diaz? Is that who's over there? Is that our guy over at Duke? That's where the great Elko came from. Now at Texas A&M. But anyway, Duke just kind of, and Scotty, this is what you demanded. This is what you were wanting. You said, give me chaos. And they did. And they delivered. And then they had to make and if ESPN's involved, all right, I used to work there for years. But it's kind of like our old friend Tim Brando told us. The big brands are always going to win out. And you go, wait a second, isn't Notre Dame a big brand? You bet it is. Does Notre Dame have an affiliation with ESPN? Oh, no, it doesn't? Oh, NBC. Oh, dang it. And it's its own huge deal. But I'm telling you, and we'll talk more about it, but if you want to complain huge, and now they're mad at the poor old at the ACC. The ACC did not support us. You kidding me, Pete Bavacqua, the Notre Dame AD? They've supported you through thick and thin. They've given you a schedule. They've been over backwards to help you. What are you talking about? Oh, they didn't back us. There will be ramifications. Oh, I bet they're scared to death. Oh, no. What can we do for you, Notre Dame, that we haven't already done? Goodness gracious, the Irish are mad, and they are entitled. And again, maybe you could have been in the ACC, and maybe these weird tiebreaker rules. I like that now, Scotty. Here's the fix. It's not to take the committee out. It's like, and maybe not even to take the conference championship games out. It's let's fix these tiebreakers. Let's go around and fix these tiebreakers. From conference to conference. That'll be great. That'll be fun. And we'll go through 5 conference. And oh, by the way, enjoy yourselves, Tulane and JMU. I love you. Loved seeing you there. It won't happen again. In fact, I think they'll find a way by next year to make it extremely difficult for even one G5 school to get there. For a while, it's like, you got to give them a seat at the table. And then they came up with these rules, and they never thought it would happen, but it happened, where JMU slides in because ACC's champion was Duke, and Duke was at 8-5. And they were ahead of them. And if you want to have fun, Scotty, go try to explain the ACC tiebreaker rules to people in your family and people that even like sports and that kind of know sports to a certain extent. But I find myself trying to work through how JMU got into this CFP. It's an interesting conversation to have with loved ones, and it's a strange deal to try to work through. All right, Scotty, we'll get to, though, as we get into the 2 o'clock hour, let's get hot and heavy CFP. We'll hear from Pete Bavacqua. I was talking to somebody else today, and I want to call him something else Bavacqua, because that guy played for, I think, the Padres. He was very famous. I think it was Kurt Bavacqua, but his name's Pete. This is Pete. All right, Pete Bavacqua. That is by the way, if you ever wanted, like, what was Mac Rhodes's dream job? Catholic guy. He wanted to be at Notre Dame. That would have been his all. I mean, that was his, what he really, really always held out some hope for, although I think he did, he loved Baylor. Obviously, things just kind of got away from him. Okay, Scotty, today is the day we meet Doug McNamee. We probably at some point, Scotty, should find one of those tweets, maybe that Baylor tweet from Baylor Athletics earlier today, and we just show our people the nice, and a lot of them have been on social media. So this is not, Scotty, some huge priority. I know I love to ask you to pull off things as we go here. But, I do think it might be good at some point during the program to flash a picture of Doug McNamee. He because of Doug's he has kind of an older, he presents older than he is. But that's okay. He's a good guy. He's been out for 8 years. You heard what Scott Drew said. He said, hey, if he hadn't have been out for 8 years, I don't think he would have been as qualified as he is now. I get it. Oh, man, Scotty and Lizzie, love it when you're able to, look at that, just pull that off immediately. You see what I'm saying, Scott? He's still a young guy. You can tell he's young, but because of the hair, you think, well, I don't know. How old is old Doug? Well, Doug probably got out of Baylor in 2003. Is that what you said, Scotty? Yeah, Scott. I like that, Scotty. You don't even have to text me. You can just shout things at me now when I'm in studio with you. But
it's a totally different experience.
It is. It's a good experience. Like being in here with you guys. This is fun. I think now again, Doug was after Baylor. He was at Baylor. He was the whole ISP. He sold for Baylor, IMG, whatever, all that stuff, right? And it became Playfly. He sold. He came up the ranks in that. Then he became an AD. He worked under Ian McCall. I talked to Ian McCall over the weekend. He was thrilled for Doug. I mean, Scotty, you got to be doing something right? Think about how everybody was tainted with that scandal. It's like, okay, that guy will never work again here. This guy will never coach again. These people will have to go other places and coach. We're going to clean out the entire administration. These people, we're going to have to bring in all new people in. Here comes Mac. Well, he bridged the gap. He stayed, and he was unbelievable resource for Mac. And to his credit, Scotty, Jeremiah Dickey reached out to me and just said, this guy is incredible. I love Doug McNamee. He'll do a great job. And that's not easy because I think a lot of people thought Jeremiah Dickey would have been a great candidate, and he would have. And he's been at Boise State. He's got a great coach there. And I think, I don't know where he was getting it, Scotty, but you saw Cam and others kind of throwing it out there. They still thought there was a Hail Mary. You get Dickey, you get the coach at Boise State. It's not happening. Okay. But we'll see what Doug McNamee, I mean, that's one of the questions we got to ask him today is, what are you going to do with this football program? It needs to be asked, are you committed to Dave Aranda being your coach this season? And he'll either say, yes, I am. That's the rate where we're going. And I think that's probably what he'll say. Now, what if he says, well, I'm still evaluating? I don't think he'll say that, but let's see. Let's see what he says on that front. Because if he says that, then it opens up the idea that there could still be a change. I don't think there will be. Boy, there are still coaches out there that are wondering that very thing. I heard from a couple of them over the weekend. What are they doing down there? What are they doing? What's up to? What are they going to do? They're going to keep that, because thinking about the portal, and this portal is more important than ever. Now, Scotty, who have the Bears lost in the portal? They do have some players that are leaving them. Some might be players that you're like, hey, thank you for coming by, but we didn't really have plans for you. I don't know exactly where Phoenix Jackson fits in that because we never got to see. He got hurt early in the season. He was an exciting player to think about. He was going to be hopefully a edge kind of guy, play some linebacker, could rove around, do some things. He got hurt like on September 16th or somewhere around then, and we never heard from him again the rest of the season. He has hit the portal. Oh, Scotty, I mean, let's deal with the elephant in the room also. The Bears turned down a bowl. I mean, we could have been rogue on December 29th. We could have all been gathered in Birmingham. Like, we could have had Christmas, post-Christmas in Birmingham, or actually spent Christmas Day right there in Birmingham. I've got friends there. I could have had a place for us to stay, guys. Stay to you laugh.
I can't tell now if you're being serious or if this has become a parody.
No, I'm saying I do have friends there.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you were.
I didn't mean the parody part. I was not implying you don't have friends there.
I thought you were laughing at that.
No, I wanted to weigh in on this. There is zero part of me as a Baylor supporter or fan that wanted us to play that bowl game. They made the right decision to decline.
A 5-7 Baylor team against a really quality Georgia Southern program. We could have gathered around, could have been on ESPN. They would have put us on there. God, it would have been fun. I'm probably tend to be with you. You know, some of the Baylor fandom is really upset about this, and I'm kind of surprised. Like, what you do understand? Like, there's almost no way now. It'd be hard to keep Cameron off the field. Like, Josh would probably be begging his way into the game. I think they'd have to tell Josh, like, hey, buddy, you got an NFL chance. I don't really think you ought to be playing this game. They'd almost have to keep him off the field. And Sawyer might have the same kind of approach, but they're not. Those guys are not going to play. They would not be playing this game. So then you got all these guys. You're having exit interviews. You got all these guys going to hit the portal. You have people you want to hit the portal. You're clear. You know, you're getting your roster ready to go into the portal. This game's on the 29th. The thing starts on the 2nd or January, whatever, like early January is when the portal opens. Come on now. The portal's basically already open. All these guys are leaving in the portal, so we won't wait. Teams will not be waiting to January, the official opening of the portal, to start negotiating these things. Got to have a great portal strategy. Got to be on top of it. Got to land some guys. You're trying to get people to come. It's going to be all about money because they're not coming for stability. Hey, come. We got a lame duck coach. We got a new AD. We got a coach. We're going to evaluate him through next season, see what we want. We don't know. We don't really know what the future holds, but come play here. No, you got to waive the money. You've saved money on all these recruits you lost. Now you go get some money. So playing in a bowl game, and I'm surprised, and I'm not going to say names, Scotty, but you saw some of the reaction out there. It's like so mad. Somebody was like, fire the new AD if he's turned down the bowl game. What are you talking about, man? Let's not be crazy. I think this one person I'm thinking of, I feel like I think the administration would like to embrace the guy because he does love going to games and everything, but you can't F-bomb everybody at every time you disagree with something. There's got to be some sort of decorum. You know, people don't. Here's the deal. And again, I'm critical of Baylor. I'm critical of Jerry Jones over the years, critical of a lot of things. But you do have to it's like a boxer or something. You got to know when to kind of hold back and then maybe come with a haymaker every once in a while. And you got to know when it's deserved. There's got to be a change-up pitch in there. You can't, every decision you don't like, just act like, okay, this is a horrible, we hate it, we blah, 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 blah. And then people show up and go, but cater to me. I'm here. Now, again, what I'm referencing, Scotty, the guy goes to everything. So I love that. I love that about him. I love that he's going, but my gosh, you've got to, if I could take him under my wing and go, here's a little bit of a different way you can handle some of this. But again, this is not a time in Baylor athletics when you can afford to turn away fans. Well, this fan's a little he cusses too much, or he does it. You can't really turn him away. Although I'm sure the administration's like, well, I mean, yeah, okay, beat us over the head a little bit more. Now, this is an interesting hire in a lot of ways, and I wonder, Scotty, what people are thinking inside. My gut tells me a lot of folks are relieved and they think, all right, we're good. Doug knows us. He's been around. He stayed around Waco, all that stuff. Now, by the way, on the reaching out to the community, I think that's helpful. Scotty, you probably have come on here with me for this, because you, having grown up in this area, may have a little bit better feel for this. Like, I think I see some stuff on Sikkim from Colt and others, like Baylor's got to do this, or Baylor's got to get in with the community. And I think in some ways over the years, they've made better inroads from even when I went to school in the 90s. I mean, it was the Baylor bubble.
Yep.
We were just those rich kids over on the Baylor campus, and I'm sure some of that still exists. I think over the years, the national title did a lot. I think Waco citizens felt connected to that team and Scott Drew and all that excitement. Like, Scotty, has anything about this Aranda era, like, made all that in your mind go backwards?
Yes.
Like any sort of inroads they had with the Waco community? Has the Waco community, I'm talking about people that live in the community that didn't go to Baylor, but kind of like in A&M at College Station. Like, if you pull into College Station or Bryan, Texas, it's not even a city. It's not even like College Station and Bryan have their own identity other than A&M.
Right.
It is, you are in Aggie land.
Right.
They own everything in that community. Baylor is far from that. Although I do think it got a little better at times, especially through some of the success. Some of this, Scotty, is about just winning a bunch of games.
Correct.
And being good and being fun,
Yeah.
right? But, Scotty, how much have they lost that, would you say, during this last couple of years, 2 or 3 years?
I'm going to tell you, I think it's been a double whammy, actually. So I think certainly the Dave Aranda era has lost some of that connective tissue with Waco. As you pointed out, Waco community got really involved with the football program as Brazos was here, in large part due to the success. And then I think Rule did enough in his short time to keep a lot of folks around. I mean, that stadium was still sold out for a lot of big home games in Rule's tenure and early in Aranda's tenure. We've talked already a lot this fall about Aranda's not just record at Baylor, but home record at Baylor has not been good. And I don't think that's helped. And that, combined with, as we've talked about, his unwillingness to be super integrated into the local media hasn't helped either. Here's the double whammy. I think the other person that has contributed to this, and I don't think it's dramatic, Matt, like, I think Waco is still largely tied in with Baylor, certainly better than the 90s, but it has taken a step back. And the other piece is Kim Mulkey. And this is not at all a anti-Nikki Collin take, because you and I both love her, and I think she's a tremendous head coach at Baylor. But you don't overnight replace someone who was such a vital part of your community for 20 years. You know, Kim Mulkey's kids, super involved star athletes at Midway ISD and then at Baylor. And she, I think more than anyone, maybe more than any football coach, had so much goodwill in the city of Waco. She really did. And you know, there were seasons, especially before Coach Drew was winning titles, when the women's games would sell better than men's games in certain moments over the last 20, 30 years. And I think Kim Mulkey's exit created a little bit of that distance as well. And again, that's not apples to oranges, where I think Aranda has negatively contributed, and so has Nikki Collin. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying I think when Kim Mulkey exited and you had football kind of take a downturn around the same time, I think both of those things have kind of combined.
Yeah,
to create some of that distance.
That's good. I mean, I hadn't even really been thinking about Kim. Mac and Kim, in case you didn't know, like, couldn't stand each other.
Yeah.
And that was, and I know, Scotty, I meant to our audience. That was tough. That was tough to see it kind of in like that, and he was ready for change, and I think obviously she embraced change, and then of course, as only Kim could, and she wins a national title. Billboards are put up in Waco, and again, that's and I love it, because she was trying to say, like, LSU wanted to do that for me or something. I was like, okay.
I mean, but Matt, like when I said she had support in Waco, like, I know multiple people in my personal sphere, not even like randoms I've met, like people in my personal sphere, my personal life, who it did not matter what Nikki Collin came in and did. when she left, when Kim Mulkey left, they canceled their season tickets.
Oh,
and
it's
they said,
huge.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's not a great posture to take, in my opinion, but that's how a lot of Waco people felt about her.
But it's interesting because I was kind of thinking of other things, and even though Kim and I still keep up with each other, I wasn't thinking of Kim. You know, Kim could have been like, I just think Kim and Scott probably, you know, even though great programs, you see at other schools, so you can tell like when it's fake and when it's not. Like at Kentucky, I think Calipari and Stoops got at odds with each other, and it wasn't. And Kim and Scott, I think publicly would say nice things about each other. Like when Scott had some huge game, they had Kim on game day. You know, like when Kansas were playing like number 1 versus number 2, and that game was happening at the Farrell Center. That was like a huge game, and they had Kim on, and Kim said, you know, something like, "I just want him to win one," and I was like, okay, all right. You know, it was a funny deal. I think there could be some healing that takes place, and again, that's why I come back to McNamee. He is kind of a good bridge because there are other people, in addition to the Kim thing, that have never gotten over the Brazos thing. I mean, you know, Art was just back on campus, and you would have thought one of the Beatles had come back to campus. I mean, that's kind of a dated reference, but Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Oh my gosh.
Wayne Watson. You would have thought, I mean, it was just like
really pulling out the names.
Yeah. Larnell Harris, Amy Grant. You would have thought Sandy Patty was back on campus, but I think Sammy Kershaw, by the way, his kid went to Baylor. They had Art was back, and it really, I showed up, and I just couldn't. I mean, I knew it would be supportive audience. What I didn't realize is like how raw it still was. Like people still, like that's what they want. They're like, could we have Art back? Well, this guy McNamee was part of that crew. Has maintained incredible relationships with Ian and Art and all of them, but then helped Mac try to clean up everything that had happened, the mess, the president, whoever you blame for all that. Maybe you blame the media, whatever. He helped try to repair Baylor's image and then went and hired Rule. Now, it ended poorly, like everything at Baylor seems to do. All right, but that's okay. Hey, even most football coaches, you think Lane Kiffin is going to be at LSU for the next 15 years. It'll end like Saban, and he'll just quietly one day go, well, it won't be quiet, but he'll just retire, and everything will be blissful. No, he'll have maybe 1 or 2 great years along the way, but it'll end in a stormy whatever, and they'll be mad at him, and they'll hate him, and maybe he'll leave for the NFL or something like that. None of these things end that great, but McNamee is to use political terms, Scotty, he's a uniter, not a divider. Scotty, that might have been the first George Bush. I think that was his deal. I'm a uniter, not a divider. That's what Doug brings. He is, as Scott described him, outside the box. I think Baylor people hear that, though, Scotty, and some people even outside Baylor and go, really? Is it that far outside the box? Because he's Waco guy. They've lived in Waco a long time. He went to Baylor. So it's a hard thing to balance, Scotty, because I think a lot of us are kind of like, yeah, one of us. He's one of us, okay? Somebody with some institutional knowledge who kind of understands all these horrible things that Baylor's been through. He's our guy. But then there's also people who are like, well, okay. I mean, this is like, it's kind of old home week. Are we sure that's what we needed? You know, to go back to an old pal who's been in Waco. Now, Scotty, none of us will be singing any of these like negative type tunes if all of a sudden we look up and the NIL money and the portal money is just flowing.
Right.
And then somehow he taps in, and maybe there's a Cody Campbell type. I'm not saying anybody's Baylor does have huge money that's on the sidelines right now. That's the thing, Scotty, I don't agree with, is when you hear Baylor people go, we're tapped out.
Yeah.
There are some people who probably are sick of trying to take care of everything, both publicly, privately, that are being asked to do too much right now. I get that. But, Scotty, I was with a guy the other day at lunch, and I mean, I hesitated to even ask him. It'll just make me, I think I just pass out if I found out what he sold his company for. I think I just pass out right over there as we were eating Chinese food. There are Baylor people who are highly, highly, highly successful that are waiting for a vision and some excitement. So let's stop acting like we're some kind of poverty program. I'm tired of hearing that.
So let me throw up some of these. We've been getting comments all show that I've been watching come in, and they're kind of a similar vein. And I want to respond to what you said and what they said. And I'm going to do a show in the morning and talk more about this. So, but this one made me laugh. I am whelmed with this choice. Crickets on the hire. By the way, Matt, someone pointed out when you made the Beatles reference, Bobby B said he saw Paul McCartney in Tulsa 2 months ago. That's pretty good. But then Ryan Pryor said that interview proved how Scott Drew is off his rocker. And Ryan, I'm going to tell you, as much as I see you comment a lot on the show, I could not disagree with you more about Scott Drew's knowledge of what Baylor needs and what Doug McNamee can bring to this program. Matt,
But by the way, I'm okay with people that
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of like not okay with this, and
but let's disagree.
I get it. Yeah,
and let's disagree. And here's where I'm going to look and talk to all of you watching and respond to what you said, Matt. I generally like people who love Baylor. Like I want people leading that love Baylor. So you're talking about him being a Waco guy and a homer and a Baylor guy, Baylor grad. That is not why he was hired. Probably helps. It's not why he was hired. He was hired for one reason. He was hired to get the money right. Bottom line, in my opinion. And I think Coach Drew last hour when we had him on about an hour ago, I think he subconsciously told us exactly what the game plan is here. He said, Matt, there's all this money in Christian business and organizations that we haven't unlocked. He named Hobby Lobby. He named Chick-fil-A. There are others that you could probably name. I could name. Maybe Magnolia is one, right? Dr. Livingstone and Baylor Athletics recognize what Texas Tech just did and are continuing to do as they're the 4 seed in the playoff isn't solely because they raised all this money and Cody Campbell, but it's in large part because they got the money right.
Yeah.
In large part. Dave Aranda's failures as a head football coach are not entirely about money. They're not. Like, there's a lot of on-field football stuff we can talk about, but it doesn't help if you can't get the money right. And so Baylor is banking on Doug McNamee because he loves Baylor, because he has institutional experience at Baylor, and because, as Coach Drew said to us an hour ago, he's got this now business acumen, financial background, understanding that he is going to be able to unlock so much money that a traditional quote unquote AD cannot. If it works, Dr. Livingstone's going to look like a genius. And a lot of people who are dismissing this hire as weak or visionless are going to have to walk back. If it doesn't work, who knows? But here's what I like. I like that it's a swing. And, you could have made a safer hire, a Ren Baker that's like, hey, this guy knows how to be an AD. And maybe that helps Baylor, and maybe it doesn't. But this is a targeted effort to say, how do we unlock all that money you're talking about, Matt? Bring all that money into the athletic department where we can pay the best coaches, we can pay the best players, and we can really go compete. And I think in 2025, that is a good strategy.
Yeah.
I think it's a good strategy. It remains to see if it works, but I like that. It seems like to me there's a clear vision here rather than, let's just hire a moderately successful AD from somewhere else and hope it works. We're not going to be complaining if Doug McNamee unlocks way more money by next fall so that if and when we have to go hire another head football coach or anybody, we have way more to offer at the bargaining table. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we need to have it now, though. I mean, like, this
but that's
January 2nd. Yeah, that's why. By the way, you don't go play in a bowl game. It's like I bet you'd lose like $500,000 or $1 million by playing in that thing. You're not going to sell your tickets. Nobody's going to go. It's December 29th. Nobody wants to see this team anymore. So that's already a good financial decision in my book. I'm sorry to cut you off. Would you?
No, you're good. And
Yeah.
I'm saying people are reacting to what I'm saying, and some people are still mad. And I get it. And I'll like
It's okay.
we got to wait and see how it goes. I'm telling you, I like the hire from the money angle. And
Are they commenting on the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Is that where they're doing it? They're commenting?
Yeah.
Go ahead and subscribe while you're there. I
and-
guess to comment, you almost have
and
to. Yeah.
to our friend Iron Reaper, who's still making comments about Dave. You know who's not going to talk like the one thing I do trust about Doug McNamee as an AD, I don't think he's going to tolerate losing because he's been around Baylor and some of the programs at Baylor when they've been at their peak. And so, man, I don't know if
And he didn't hire this guy.
correct. Yeah, he has no attachment to Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
And he has been in the building when Art Briles and Matt Rule were on the march to Big 12 championship.
He's doing kind of what Ren Baker did at West Virginia. You come in, the guy, Ren, that guy, Neil Brown, who's now the head coach at UNT, had one good season, he bounced back, and so they let him have another season, and then Ren moved on and got his guy, which was appealing to the fan base because it was an old buddy. And no, they're not going to bring Art back. Right? But I know people are thinking that because this guy was part of the Briles era. Could you bring Art back?
Yeah. No,
At 71, he just turned. By the way, we should have wished him a happy birthday. Art turned 70, I think, this past week. We just had Art on recently, and Scotty, that's one of we've done Barry Switzer and had a lot of great, interesting guests along our time. But that Art one really did stand out.
Let me make one more comment though.
Please.
And
by
this
all
is how I
means.
feel strongly as a Baylor alum and fan. Okay. Priority A for any new AD and now Doug McNamee is fixed football, right? And Baylor has decided that getting the money part right is how you fix football, and I'm actually very okay with that decision. But priority B, in my opinion, Mosley, is keep Scott Drew at Baylor till he retires. Okay, selfishly, as a Baylor fan, as a guy that likes winning, as a guy that likes national championships, I think your second priority after get football right, because that's the moneymaker, is keep Scott Drew until he retires. And so if Scott Drew's willing to call into your show the day that Doug McNamee's hired and be excited about it, until I see otherwise, I'm going to choose to be excited about it. Because the most valuable asset you have in that athletic department right now is Scott Drew, period. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that feels that way, but I think that's pretty reasonable.
I could make a Michelle Leonard.
Hey, and she signed on, baby. We got her locked in too.
No, Scott, I'm just kidding. Ryan McGuire, I think I can make a case. He's a great. They've got some really good ones. Sometimes we focus on some, obviously most of the things that are struggling. They've got some things, and volleyball just sadly ended up, but they always, make it into the tournament, win a game or two. They've made it to the Final Four, so those are good. But basketball team has to improve a lot. By the way, I'm not anything wrong with Scott's great. I'm just saying that was there were some concerning signs the other day. I like the defense. I got to go back, Scotty, and really, because Saturday for me was all the stuff breaking and reacting to it, and I was way distracted from my usual basketball focus. All right, so this may even require us to get Ashley on. Ashley didn't even. When Ashley doesn't go to a road game, what's going on? But anyway, lots going on there. You said something that I wrote down. You were talking about tech, and I had this thought to myself, what must this be like for Matt Rule to still be struggling to win at Nebraska, raising and doing really well in NIL, and bringing in this incredible quarterback who looks like he's going to transfer out, and all the good that he's done there, and the guy that he basically helped make his career and bring him to Baylor, and Joey is on top of the world. And he got money, and I get it, man. People took that deal, and I've seen it out there, and people watching me right now. Yes, you've sent it to me. I get it. I look at stuff. It's fine. There was a big graphic going around, Scotty, 28 million. What is that number? Oh, I think that's the number attached to Texas Tech's class this year. I don't know if that's just to me, Scotty. That almost is just the portal, right? I don't know how much they probably spent $50 million on the portal, but I think they said $28 million on this Tech team. And, if you judge it by going to the playoffs and being one of the top teams in the country and what it does for your brand, I think you'd have to say money well spent. Pretty good ROI. I mean, but don't you know, Scotty, Matt Rule cannot help but go, that sucker. He's all my ideas, all the way I recruit, all the way I structure a lot of my stuff. He's brought in so much of the exact same thing, maybe even taking some of my people. And right now, Joey's better at the Matt Rule stuff than Matt Rule is.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure Matt Rule's thinking about a lot. And by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and get this train started. There's better odds that guy comes back to Waco than Art Briles. Okay, like if this doesn't work in Nebraska, who knows? But I think you need to give Joey a little more credit here, because
I'm not trying to discredit Joey.
Here's why.
I think he's doing incredible.
You specifically said how I recruit. We do not know that dynamic. I'm a Matt Rule homer. Okay, we know this about me, so this is not to dismiss Matt Rule. But Matt Rule brought in Joey McGuire, Dan Wetzel, and Sean Bell in large part.
David Wetzel,
thank you. In large part to figure out how to recruit this state. And he did it quickly and efficiently and well. And certainly Matt Rule deserves a lot of credit for that. But I don't know how much, Joey had all of the relationships, all of the knowledge. As far as evaluating Texas high school players and getting them to campus, Joey McGuire did not need a sensei and Matt Rule to teach him.
No. It's more of like he'll be very upfront. When we have Joey on, he'll talk about it. Like, I'm just talking about more from an organization.
Sure.
Does he recognize talent, know what he wants? I do think, and this is another Baylor guy, that James Blanchard has knocked it out of the park. And that'll be another thing that Doug McNamee has to do at Baylor, is address this thing, Scotty, you and I have talked about, is like, okay, what is this GM position?
Correct.
Does this become more like the NFL? Does it need and who does this person report to, and who does the coach report to? And I've asked these questions about Baylor. Okay, who does this person report? And people have been honest. They've okay, this person reports to this person, and you're kind of like left to be like, okay, is this, I don't know. Is this the best way to do it? Doug will look at all of that. And I think he's going to have to look at, and it would be crazy not to look at what Tech's doing and not just go, oh, they just have all that money. Okay, we'd be great too if we had the money. Okay, what are they doing with them once they have the money? How are they putting this? How do they put this portal class? That's what Dave Aranda's talking about. I want to build inside out. Look at those guys that finally they have people that look like University of Texas and Texas A&M defensive linemen.
That defensive front seven is so sick. Yeah.
David, whatever his name is, David Harris Bailey. Or somebody, David Bailey. Yeah, David Bailey. Oh, my gosh, just right across the way. And then linebacker, let's not act like they've got, oh, my gosh, they've got the greatest NFL linebackers ever. No, they got one of the best players in the country. These dudes that are just, they got mustaches, and they're just tough as all get out. In 13 against BYU in that game the other day, he's just dropping back in coverage, reading poor Bear Backmeyer's eyes. And he made two unbelievable. It reminded me of when Baylor had some of those great linebackers under Phil Bennett.
Yeah.
Like those guys that would drop back. Lackey would make those huge game-changing interceptions.
Yep.
And who was the guy whose dad played it, or his brother, Bryce Hager. And Clay Johnston. Some of these guys we've had.
Ballers.
And they just could work in space. And they were so good. And those Tech, Rodriguez, oh my gosh, those guys can play. But you know what? Some of that's coaching. Those Absolutely. Are not that guy's a homegrown dude. That's not some guy they got in a portal. The guy they're trying to put up there for the Heisman. You think they went and got him from some kind of unbelievable other program?
Yeah, no. That's coaching.
That's a Tech guy.
And by the way, that front seven on their defense is why they have a real shot to win a game or two in this playoff, not just appear. Right? They're gonna have Oregon in that second round game, and the one team that beat Oregon this season was Indiana, and it's largely because they had a defensive front seven that could punch back at that offensive line and shut down that run game. Okay, nobody else has been able to stop Oregon in the run game. Tech is going to be able to match up in that same way, and it's because that's where they focus their money. But to your point about the GM, Don't kid yourself. You've probably heard this. I've heard this through my channels, and they're way less than yours. There are a lot of big name Baylor folks who would be very interested in being the GM of the football program if things were right in that regard. And you better believe they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about it.
It's going to be fun. It'll be interesting to see. And again, we'll be quizzing the new Baylor AD today. I'm in town. I'm all over that. And then tomorrow we'll react to all of it, and we'll have some of it, and we'll do a lot of that. It'll be interesting to hear from Doug McNamee. Okay, Scotty, here's what we'll do. We got a lot of folks watching us on Twitter. We appreciate you guys so much. And then come over and sign up for YouTube. We've been all over this Baylor stuff. We had Scott Drew on earlier today. We'll get that interview out to you later in the day. We'll get some things rolling around on the YouTube. But Scotty, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't get into and react to. We know what CFP is now. And then there is somebody who was left out. There's always somebody that's left out. But I don't know. I thought Florida State might have been the loudest and maddest ever. And they may still hold that title. But the Irish are angry. The Irish eyes are not smiling. And we'll hear from the Notre Dame AD, and we'll react to the CFP as we get you ready for it. It's going to happen the 19th and 20th. It's going to be fun. We'll be in College Station on that 20th for an 11 a.m. game as the Hurricanes come into College Station. All of that's going to be fun. Let's do that next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Collin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cabin chassis, and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys, just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Matt Piffle, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mappiffle.com and start celebrating your story today.
All right, it's the Mosley Show right here in studio. Needed to be in studio today because Baylor's making a huge announcement this afternoon. I think I've ruined any element of surprise. I just went ahead and threw it out, what was happening yesterday. But that's it. That's what you got to do as a reporter. You can't be going around, trying to make everybody happy. Mosley, please hold off on this. No, you just, when you find out something, come on, let's go. Let's get it out there. And this is going to be good today. It'll be, everybody can go over there and greet the new AD. I think it's open to the public. It's a huge area over there at the Hurd Welcome Center. That's that huge kind of space age looking building on campus. I think some people would go, does that really fit into the campus? But I mean, it's interesting to me. It's got kind of a sleek, interesting design. I mean, I don't know if it was built to please everybody. Like, wait a second, this doesn't look like Brooks Hall. This doesn't look like Collins. It just kind of did a little something different. It's okay. To do that from time to time. Big, huge, beautiful building. And we'll go over there and we'll greet the new AD, Director of Athletics for Baylor. And I think what I'll do, Scotty, is just like go grab let's see what time it is. Oh my gosh. Almost need, because I'm afraid they close at 3, this location. I need a Schmaltz. I need to race over to Schmaltz and get me a sandwich. The Schmaltz. One of our great sponsors. It's almost within a stone's throw of us right now. And I think I'll race over there. I may make a stop by one of our local coffee shops, that Winter Wonderland across the street over there. Way to go, guys. Way to get some nice decorations. I took a picture. It was so beautiful last time I was over there. I had one of our sales people over here, one of our top sales folks I was meeting with over across the street, Scotty, and I said, could you take my picture under the gingerbread lane, the gingerbread house, okay? And so, but I forgot to ever put that on social media. Not that social media really needs to see that. Scotty, let's tell our folks, let's put it up there on the screen. Let's look at the CFP. Let's get it. Let's take a peek at what this committee has wrought, what they have done to America. Oh, Scotty, wait, that's got to be a misprint, right? Now, I don't have my regular glasses with me right now. I could reach for them. But what's that thing at 12? What is that? Like it's a J and an M? What in the world is that? What does that stand for? Goodness gracious. What a weird deal. James Madison, welcome to the big party, guys, because the ACC couldn't figure its thing out. And they couldn't figure out how to get Virginia and Miami to a conference title game. They sent a 7-5 Duke team. And what did Duke do? They ruined the party. And this was not the great Duke basketball team, which may have gotten beat the other day. This is the Duke footballers. And then afterwards, their coach is like, we deserve it. Put us in here. Okay, we're not going to put an 8-5 team in. So that is how this all happened. And today, everybody, Scotty, it's not like a refreshing opinion to be shouting about how do you put Tulane and James Madison in there. We've all known this could happen. They don't hide. I mean, they're not. Some of the criteria we don't totally understand because they'll do strength of schedule and strength of record and all these things, and then go against it in some areas. But when it comes to how the 11th and 12th teams ended up there, it's all out there. It's in the writing. They said this could happen.
Yeah, we've been teasing James Madison and the winner of the American getting in for a few weeks now.
Yeah, but I'm talking heads. You cannot. How in the world did the committee put them in? They had to do it. That fit the parameters.
The written rule. Yep.
Now, Scotty, Alabama getting in shouldn't surprise anybody. I do love that as only they can. Oh, about BYU, they lost to Tech in convincing fashion. And that's true. They hung around for a little while the other day. But in the end, Tech blew them off the field. Alabama had the biggest, maybe the greatest win of the year. But you know what Alabama was doing in the second half of that game, Scotty? They were keeping that score down. They were keeping that score down. A lot of people had turned it off because it wasn't that great of a game. But it's like 21-0 or something. And Bama's like on their own 40 or 45, and they got 4th and short. What are they doing? They're punting. They're punting that ball. Let's keep that score down. We can't get beat. We can't let this committee see us get beat 35-7. So then, it's almost kind of like Kirby. We're killing them. We're crushing them. They hadn't scored. And what they got the one meaningless touchdown. 28-7, they lose, and Bama comes riding in with that 3 loss. Now, golly, though, Scotty, were they great losses? I don't know. I mean, at home to Oklahoma. Don't you love that where they try to like lessen that one by saying Oklahoma won the takeaways by 3. Isn't that like part of football? Like why do we hold it against OU that they had a bunch of takeaways in that game?
Right.
Like that's like huge part of football is the turnover margin. But Alabama gets in and Notre Dame does not. And Notre Dame is now very, very upset. And that's too bad. That's too bad that Notre Dame, and they're upset because honestly, they feel like college football owes it to them to be in. Now, were they playing better than Alabama? Absolutely. But at the end, it really goes back. They just make it whatever they want. It's like at the end, they go, well, it's a resume. It's a resume. And then with Notre Dame, they go back and they go, okay, if between you and Miami, we have the head-to-head. And it was kind of funny that Notre Dame lost to 2 teams that ended up in the college football playoff, in Texas A&M and Miami. And what the committee said is we all went back and we watched that game. Now, that game took place a long, long time ago. Yeah, and so some things had changed. But, yeah, they lined up, and for much of that game, Miami had the major upper hand in that game. Now, Scotty, some of their losses, SMU, the Bears. I seem to recall the Bears going in and beating SMU. Louisville, okay. Louisville's okay. Okay team. Miami's losses were not great. But Notre Dame, and you say, well, they were not in a conference. Well, whose fault is that? I mean, that's what they've wanted since the beginning of time. They want to be independent. They want to do their own TV deals. And then on top of that, they want the ACC to cater to them. Can we do you guys mind if we do all our women's basketball and men's basketball, every other sport, all our Olympic sports? Do y'all mind if we use the ACC? ACC, yeah. Can we help you with scheduling? Yeah. Can we help you in football? Do y'all need some games? Yeah. We'll schedule. We'll bend around. And today, they have the audacity to come back and then blame the ACC for not having their back. Wow. I mean, it's a remarkable thing to be handed everything and then to come back and just bite the hand that feeds you. They've done permanent damage. They've done permanent damage to us. The ACC, and we're mad and we're not going to play in a bowl game. I'm fine with Baylor not playing a bowl game. They didn't get it. They didn't get there. But BYU, They're ready to play. They're mad, but you think they're not going to show up? Not in a million years. Not in a million years with BYU. They could have almost every one of their players go on a mission tomorrow, and they'd go find a bunch of guys to go play. They'd go find a way to make this happen. Scotty, let's look. I want to hear from Pete Bavacqua, this AD from Notre Dame. He was on the Dan Patrick show earlier today. He's had some interesting comments. Let's get a little flavor of what Pete Bavacqua had to say on the Dan Patrick show. This is the AD at Notre Dame.
Fan hears this and says it's sour grapes. Notre Dame trying to be bigger than everybody, more important. You would say what?
Well, listen, everybody kind of wants to do right by their team. We felt like we did what we needed to do this season to earn a spot in the college football playoffs. We feel that we have one of the very best teams in the country. I think the majority of people who follow this sport so closely agree. Every indication we had from that first ranking suggested that that committee agreed with us. We were always being compared to Alabama. We couldn't possibly have ended the year any better than we did. I get why people think it's sour grapes, but it's disappointment, Dan. I mean, this is, we take this seriously, as do other universities. And, the rankings can't just be musical chairs at some, 5th grade birthday party. They have to mean something. And to me, what happened to us really kind of was alarming.
I mean, alarming to Notre Dame people? Was it alarming to all of college football? Well, again, blame the criteria for this thing. Is Notre Dame better than James Madison? Would they be favored? Yeah. Were they better than Tulane? Yeah, probably so. Should they be in here? Love to have them. Love to have them. And the answer, Scotty, is always like, tell you what we'll do. We did the same thing when Baylor and TCU got left out. It's like, we got to expand this thing. We got to expand it. And so now, we got to have 16. And then this thing will be about like, oh my gosh, 17 and 18. Same thing with like college basketball. We do so much bubble talk. And then people say, some of these really good teams get left out. No, they don't. I mean, truly, if you're on the bubble, other than some of these these mid-majors, you're not that great. You think Oklahoma and Porter Moser and some of these teams that are constantly on the bubble, do you think, oh my gosh, America needs to see them play in a play-in game? No, they don't. Texas is down there just like begging its way in. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But that's what it becomes about. Like, oh my gosh, they're not even talking about the teams that are actually playing in this thing. It's like poor Notre Dame has been left out, and now they won't play. I do appreciate from everybody on Twitter. I think Twitter behaves very well in some of these situations, and they do some good jokes. And I like the scene from Rudy. And a guy had a funny tweet about it, Scotty. He was like saying, he was trying to act like he was an insider, and he had heard a report that Notre Dame players went into the coach's office and they all were presenting their jerseys and turning their jerseys in like the captains. And he was giving the plot of Rudy, the movie Rudy. And then people were showing he was totally setting it up like he had inside information. So if you've seen that scene in Rudy, it's the cap. He's not going to play Rudy. And so the captains start offering, they turn in their jerseys if they're not going to play Rudy, and they go walk it in there. It's a good moment. And the head coach at Notre Dame at the time, Dan Devine, I believe. Was it Pat? Yeah, I think it was Dan Devine was coaching Notre Dame at the time. Oh, my goodness. So lots going on in that front. Let's all, while we're doing this and talking about Notre Dame. Now, again, Scotty, we need to look at some of these matchups. I mean, have we heard from Kevin from Indiana, our Indiana buddy? I mean, has Kevin checked in? I mean, I cannot imagine.
Yeah,
the excitement he had the other day. We should have had him on.
Kevin's traveling to Disney World today with his family, so that's great for him. But yeah, he is very excited. Obviously excited about winning on Saturday, Big Ten championship.
And that was no fluke, was it?
No.
That was like line up, and we're going to batter this quarterback, and we're going to keep hitting him. And sorry, Ohio State. I mean,
Well,
you're down there
again-
trying to tie the game up. You can't make a 27-yard field goal, and you got a cocky kicker.
Right.
He was over there screwing around and messing with people in the stands, and he can't make a 27-yarder. I'm sure the Ohio State fans have handled that beautifully, right? I bet they haven't said anything negative about that young man.
Well-
27-yard field goal. Just boom,
And again, that was the play, and as soon as the game ended, that was the first play I thought of. But the other part of this match, it's the same thing I said about when Indiana played Oregon. They lined up with that defensive front seven and said, we can outdo your big guys, and we're not going to let you run all over us. And man, in a defensive showdown, Indiana had the better defense at the end of the day. I mean, now here's what's going to be crazy is if those two teams meet again for the national title. I was a little surprised it was Ohio State with the 2 seed instead of the 3 or the 4 seed. But I mean, clearly the committee believes those are still the two best teams in America. Wouldn't that be deflating if they meet again and Ohio State gets the better of them the second time?
Wow. It's happened before. Ohio State
Absolutely.
certainly had the thing happen with Michigan. They were ready to fire Ryan Day. Of course, that was not in a championship game, but or was it? When did they play Ohio? I mean, it was like they didn't turn around and play Ohio. Yeah, it wouldn't have been in the championship game. It would have been in just the normal rivalry game, and Ohio State got beat, and everybody's like ready to run Ryan Day off, and they win the national title.
Right. Ohio State didn't even reach the Big Ten title game last year.
If a program was going to fire a coach who won a national title, I think it would be Ohio State. Like, I think that's the most like over the top, insufferable fan group out there. No, we like you. We like you, Bucks. See if you really know them, Scotty. You can call them the Bucks. They don't call them. See the people that are there in Columbus.
I wouldn't have known
they
that.
refer to them as the Bucks. So there you go. Do you know their mascot's name off the top of your head?
Brutus.
Yeah, that's what I always want to call the Baylor thing. The Baylor mascot is called Bruiser.
Bruiser. Yeah.
And then Marigold is the name of the Baylor female mascot.
It's a tremendous name.
Yeah, good name. And what the other day I was stumped, and I still haven't looked this up. Who are our live mascots now? I really feel like I should know this.
Indy and Bell.
Yeah. Good.
Indy and Bell.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm trying to think why they were named that.
Oh, you can do this. You don't even need me to tell you.
Indy.
Those are two of the most obvious reasons they've named anything.
Bell. Double Baylor Bell? No. Bell. Indy and Bell.
Matt, old Aggie Mosley is failing his
Baylor exam.
His Baylor exam
I'm
here.
too focused on this new AD.
Matt, as everyone learns at Line Camp, Baylor did not start in Waco. It started
Independence.
in Independence.
Thank
Texas.
you. Okay, Indy, that's a good one.
So Judge Indy.
The Baylor Bell, the Baylor. Okay, so Bell is just Belle.
Yes.
And that would be because of
you actually, and I don't know when my camera just shut off. I'm glad my microphone's connected to your camera. My computer freaked out here for a second. No, you actually had it right a little bit ago. It's just named after the Bells on campus.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. I felt okay on that, but you didn't respond. So.
Well, you didn't have a convicted guess. You had like a halfway guess, and I was going to let you come around. Bobby B says named after Sean Bell, our next hire. Bobby B, you and I would enjoy dreaming about some things together, maybe, perhaps.
I've told you not to say that.
I know. I did not. Bobby B brought it up in the comment.
No, not about Sean Bell. The dreaming. Dream.
Mosley hates that phrase.
I heard you say it the first time I met you. It's like, let's dream about that. I'm like, I don't do that.
That is a combo of me being a millennial and me having spent 7 years in Christian ministry.
Yeah.
That's something let's dream about that.
Yeah.
Let's dream about doing that.
Let's guys, we live in a broken world.
That's right.
Because it wasn't broken like 50 years ago.
No.
Nobody ever did anything wrong or bad or whatever or had made mistakes. Nobody made mistakes back then, but now it's broken. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I got to go see Doug McNamee. Now again, I want to be upfront about this. The new AD at Baylor, so the nice sort of convenient thing for me, and I really is he's a friend, and so I'm extremely happy for him. But I'm also like, I understand that not everybody's like going to be like, this is awesome. This is incredible. You're like, wait, what's he been doing over at, Magnolia and over by the silos? Now, I don't think he was over there like selling baked goods or something. He's not selling cupcakes. He was just, he was over the whole thing. And they have all kinds of TV shows and networks and all that stuff. And I've known one of that couple for a long, long, long time. Went to school with him. But that's a big organization. I mean, say whatever you want about it. It's not, somebody said, it's like a mom and pop. No, that's like a big thing. And then he's at Field and Stream. And I think I don't know. I'm not a hunter and fisher, but I've always known about it. It's kind of a big, it's a big, among the hunter fisher people, I think it's a huge thing still. Is it like just a knock your socks off? Like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe they got this guy. I get it. No. He was here. Now, again, see one guy, I had to get onto him, Scotty, because he was one of the, we need one of us. Can we get anybody from Baylor that understands us? And then he was complaining about this to me the other night. And I was like, this guy went here. This guy was in the organization. This guy was in the Bryles era. He's been with Baylor. Then he left. He did all this business stuff. Like, you desperately wanted a Baylor person in this role, and then you're going to turn around and complain about it. And moan about this. That's what you begged for. You wanted a Baylor guy. Now, again, I would not have been mad if they had hired a non-Baylor person. I mean, I thought Mac, for the most part, did a really good job at Baylor. Okay, it didn't end well. Rarely does around here. And that was a good point. In summation of today's show, Scotty, fair points on Mulkey, fair points on keeping Scott happy and around. And I promise you, all the NIL boys that are connected to the Baylor program, and Scotty, some of them, we just throw a stone out there. Some of them are like, I don't know, Scotty. I mean, you and I both should have been. Lizzie, she still has her whole life in front of her. I'd go get into home health care. It's what I'd do. It's like every time I go, well, who's this guy? Now, how'd this guy make all his money? Well, visiting angels or visiting nurses, something. I'd get into that world. I think I might, Scotty. I mean, it's probably a little late for me, but I think I'm going to show up at somebody's home today and just help them out with some health care, because apparently people are making huge money in that field and in that area. Okay. And some of them are connected to the Baylor program. So again, all these people who say Baylor's tapped out, there are people out there making a lot of money. And there are people out there that if you give them the right vision, Mosley, and you give them some excitement, they'll spend their money. Yes.
If you do that,
you want to work with me?
Well, yes.
In that industry?
Yes, I will come work for you. But also the temptation, as you were just describing, might be to give all your money to the athletic department. But Mosley, there is a building on campus that desperately needs updating and renovation. And it is Castellaw Communication Center. Matt, if you were to make all of your money in home health care, I would say you give your money and you build the Mosley School of Communication and Journalism. Now, wouldn't that be something?
Just dedicate that to myself. I like
the Mosley
School. The Mosley School of Journalism. I told you that story. They tried to hire me, and then sadly,
you did tell me that.
Sadly, they did not really follow through on that. Okay, lots to get to in the coming days. We'll hear from Doug McNamee. We'll have an interview with him. I don't know, soon. I may take my recorder and just go up and try to talk to him today, and then we'll have that. Although I kind of like the video, kind of like having the video. We'll get him on video soon. Yeah. They actually have an endowed chair over there, by the way. The Kathy Hillman and John Hillman's a friend of mine over at Castellaw, Scotty, and I think their son has done extremely well and endowed that chair over in communication. And by the way, that the wife, Lacey McNamee, was a tenured professor over in the Baylor Communication School.
Class.
Scotty, and did you make an A in there? Did you do well?
I believe I did make an A in that class. Yes.
Okay, we'll get a transcript and see if we can confirm that. We'll take a peek, Scotty. In fact, I've asked for your transcript just to kind of look and see how things went over there. No, I bet Scotty did fine. I bet, especially like public speaking and all the things where he could kind of be himself. I bet he did really well over there. They used to have a public speaking guy named Professor like Bass. I liked him. He's a good guy. He's kind of a good old, a big jolly guy. I had a lot of fun professors back in the day. And we lost one of them recently. Dr. Sluter passed away, and he was probably still doing it, Scotty, when you were over there. And that was tough, man, to lose him. What a great, great guy. And now they have my old college roommate over there running the communications department, the chair of communications, Blair Browning, who we lived at Darshane. We lived over at, no, he wasn't with us at Darshane. Cobblestone, was it called? I think that's when he joined me over at Cobblestone. It will not shock you and Lizzie to know that I had, I think, 11 different roommates at Baylor, because I don't think no one ever re-upped with me. I had to find a new set every year. I'm sure it's just kind of like, a lot of people were vying to live with me. I'm sure that was what it was. It is the Mosley Show, and we'll do it again tomorrow at 1:00. We've been live with you from Waco, Texas, and then we'll be live over soon from the getting to know our new athletic director at Baylor, Doug McNamee. Thanks for everybody that was a part of this one. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Rogue Media Network. Thank you, CNB. Thank you, Brazos Landing. I may just run right by there right now. Just please, if you could just give me one of those appetizers. One plate of Bang Bang shrimp could make me right for the next week. It is the Mosley Show. We'll see you tomorrow at 1:00.